Welcome to Root You for Tuesday, the week of a thing that we like to call Fashion Week. So here this weekend, we are making the introduction of a couple different things. One, Envirem, which we're going to go over today. Two, Merci Dupre Clothiers. Three, the introduction of Bill and Coo, which you're going to see more of here very, very soon because the pet products will be ready. But Bill and Coo is the pet line that will be collaborating with Root. But today, we're going to go over an introduction to Envirem because we've done a really good job of taking care of our internal environment, right? We have the means of protecting, restoring, regenerating our internal ecosystem. But we know that we are daily disclosed to environmental impact factors that are on the outside, that are getting into every aspect of our lives. The food part we'll take care of later, but today is really about protecting your skin and your that which you put on your skin, not from a makeup or from a skin care standpoint per se for what's it called? Moisturizers and regenerative moisturizers, which we have. And if you haven't tried Reno yet, if you're one who likes skincare, or if you haven't used a lot of skincare products before and want your skin to be absolutely amazing, try Reno. It is ridiculous. And we want your feedback on this stuff because, one, we haven't had any negative feedback yet. But really the comparison for people that have used other skincare products, yeah, I got that for you. It's outstanding. So medical disclaimer time. We're here for education and entertainment purposes. We're not here for medical advice. If you have a medical issue, you're probably not part of the community anyway, because all we have are healthy people. But you should consult with a healthcare professional. And if you have questions, consult with a healthcare professional. And if you don't have a healthcare professional, one will be provided for you. Maybe? Can we do that, my love? Okay. We have plenty of recommendations for really smart healthcare practitioners that are part of the community. So there you go. What is Envirem? Right? So the focus of Envirem is about environmental remediation. So as you can see, purifying the globe, not in the way that other organizations want to, but we actually want to clean up the environment and people and animals and plants and the air, water, and soil. So the goal behind Envirem is the focus and purpose in doing so, and teaching people how to do it. We're going to talk about how trees are beneficial because they convert CO2 into oxygen. Did you know that?
Yes.
That photosynthesis is something that's real, and that there's 3 trillion trees on this planet, and each tree converts 48 pounds of CO2 into oxygen. So anyone says that we have a CO2 problem actually wants to decrease the amount of oxygen, which is probably not good.
Yeah, so Envirem was one of the reasons that I was at the World Economic Forum, because many of you guys know the environment is so toxic. And our goal at Root and DRC Ventures is to make sure that all of our product companies, all the things we do are really there, not just for our generation, but for future generations. So we're consulting with different groups throughout the world on the environment. We're trying to help people and governments throughout the world, but we start with our Root community, and we always say this. So for me, the skin is so important. And many of you guys know I worked with Brad Mathis at Biogen IDEC. We focused on skin as one of our top things we did at that company. We also ended up going into oncology and hematology and neurology, et cetera. But we focused on skin with psoriasis and different things because the skin a lot of times reflects what's on the inside of the body. It's your first line of defense. It's extremely important. Clay, we're not going to do that right now, honey.
I know.
I can't. Okay, it's extremely important to really make sure that your skin has the right pH, that it's water resistant, that the temperature's okay, that it's flexible, that it's durable. You have to make sure you have everything protecting the skin. If you're like me today, you have nothing but a moisturizer in your face, no makeup. That comes later with Root. But
What kind of moisturizer did you use?
I used Reno this morning.
What's your feedback on it?
I love Reno. And by the way, guys, Reno has a different structure. It's not like a hard substance. It's made from phytoplankton and hyaluronic acid and a lot of great vitamins and minerals. So it is more of a liquid. So when you guys get it, it lasts longer because of that too. So you don't use a ton of it. You just use a small amount on your skin.
You actually really need a small amount. If you put a little bit on, it goes a lot further than any other moisturizer I've ever played with. But you didn't use a bunch of the chemical additives that make things thicker. You
No,
didn't use any thickening agents or anything else.
I did.
It's as natural as it's going to get.
it is. And I actually absolutely love it. Clay's right. But I want to get to this slide deck. We may have to end a little bit sooner than we
One of us
thought.
has to drive to New York.
And one of us has to get to the airport. But I did want to get through this because you guys know we are going into Fashion Week, and the models that will be on the stage will be using this skin coating as well as Enviremware. So when people ask about the skin coating, I just want to go back to this. I took a lot of classes in the graduate certification program at Harvard. It was a 3-year program where I really worked on different things that would help the body. This was one of the things I worked on. And then later I worked on it even more after Harvard. And I did a patent pending technology, which really was like a coating on the skin. I'm not going to get too much into the entire product I worked with at Harvard and how I made the changes, but I will say this. My goal was to be able to create this skin coating that we could later take to the next level and even create something later down the line. This is going to take a couple of years that can communicate with like people's loved ones and their family on what's going on in their bodies. So there's different layers to this skin coating. This is the first layer, and the goal and the aim of this, and we can't make these claims, but we are sending it out for testing. The goal is to really protect the body against 5G technology, EMF radiation, heavy metals, viruses, bacteria, parasites, and fungus. That's the goal of the skin coating, because we wanted something that goes around the skin and not just something like alcohol or a disinfectant, but something that can help in multiple areas.
And it's nourishing to the skin to go along with Reno.
Yes, absolutely. It is nourishing, but Clay, it's not.
This is protective.
This is protective.
But-
this is much different.
But something to be proud of. You said you worked on this when you were at Harvard. You created this.
I did. Absolutely.
This wasn't a project you were part of. You actually created this.
It was a project that they gave me. I could develop whatever nanotechnology product I wanted. And we're not going to advertise it as a nano product, but I use nanotechnology to produce the product and microemulsions. We're going to be very careful how we launch it so it follows all the guidelines and rules. And we will do, like I said, testing. We are in the middle of that process right now. But how does this work? Because I know a lot of people are thinking, wait a minute, what exactly happens with this? And just to talk about it a little bit, there were silica solutions that were used that we are trying to make even into a further area, which we will discuss later, but we used vitamin C and additional things as well. I have to be really honest about this. When it comes to this particular formula, we were extremely careful because there's a difference between Enviremware, and I want to just speak because I think this is messed up on the slide deck. There's a difference in Enviremware and the Envirem Skin Defense, and your super skin coating is the skin defense. So Jayla, we're going to have to go to the Envirem Skin Defense slide because this information is not exactly accurate, and I want to make sure that we have accurate. But you can stay here really quick. The goal is to help with the radiation, the heavy metals, and the microbiology of the skin and biosis of the skin. And what that means is we're really trying, again, to protect the skin against the 5G radiation and heavy metals. But we're going to go to the slide, and I'm going to the Envirem Skin Defense so I can describe exactly what we're doing because it's not in that deck. Okay, so The ingredients in the Skin Defense and in the skin coating I developed is a proprietary blend of orthosilic acid, hypochloric acid, which is, by the way, guys, this is something that's available in your body, but you can also produce it if you know how. It's a very complicated process. There are products out there that are pharmaceutical products that utilize this, but this was made in a natural process and into a natural ingredient for the skin. We also used vitamin B3, niacinamide, and USP, because that was really important, again, to provide this protection barrier. And again, the vitamin C and the potassium iodine was used. And this was used again with the thought of what is the skin being exposed to? How can we protect it? And I said this on a previous call, how also can we use this so that this really helps with the overall body, not just with the skin, but the internal body. So it was really important. If you look at where it says Envirem Skin Defense, which is the skin coating, it uses a blend of these acids, vitamins, minerals, hypochloric acid. And I'm going to have to do a separate slide deck where I really get into why those are protecting everyone. But we're positioning ourselves to deeply nourish and moisturize the skin. However, this is not like a cream, and I'm so sorry that it says that on here. It is a spray that you're able to spray on the skin. We also have a cream, but I think we're launching with the spray first. The goal, again, is to provide different coatings around the body so that the body can be protected.
That was Jayla's spelling error for the day.
Where?
Cream versus spray.
Okay, it's not, because we're using two different things.
Good job, Jayla.
But I want to point out this to everyone, that it's extremely important that you guys know we did gluten-free, non-GMO, cruelty-free. We use natural ingredients, and we utilized a process that's really able to protect the body.
So these are all good for your skin, because spraying it on your skin, some of it can be absorbed. So it's not putting any chemicals on your skin that would be bad if they got into you. But this is designed to be protective because of how you put it together.
It's
on the outside.
It's a barricade.
Yeah.
The goal is to barricade the skin and kind of put this coating, which is why it's called Envirem Skin Defense, and why it's a coating, a super skin coating. If you go back, Jayla, to the slides in the beginning, this is going to be hard for me to get through the deck. I didn't have time to look at it. If you go back to the EMF radiation, heavy metals, and how it's defending, and I apologize for this, guys, I didn't have time to look over this deck, and there's some things that we did not position correctly on here. If you look at the first tab with the EMF radiation 5G tech, there's all this stuff going on around us right now, right? It's really important that we all understand that we have been exposed to radiation for years. We continue to be exposed to radiation, and that the 5G technology, even though it's phenomenal for certain things, it's harmful for things as well. So it's harmful for our bodies. It can hurt our neurotransmission. So again, the goal is to provide these things as a coating around the body and as a super skin defense, so that we can really help the skin and help the body.
Monica made a good comment. It's like a Faraday cage for the body, where it's blocking EMFs and
the goal again.
other environmental things.
Yeah, that is a goal. I didn't really understand what you just said. So
no, it's good.
Okay. The heavy metal, but I'm sure you're right. I apologize again. I have so much on my mind. I'm a little bit off track, but the heavy metals are another problem, right? So guys, the orthosilic acid, the silicon dioxide, what we take into our body with clean slate and clean spirits and some of the other things that we do, it was really important to me that I created a skin formula that could act as a barrier. You guys probably heard me talk earlier in a different Root U about the importance of this organ, our largest organ, to the inside of our body, and how, like I said earlier on the call, I worked with rare diseases for years that were autoimmune disorders. Psoriasis is linked to radiation issues. Psoriasis is linked to heavy metals. Rheumatoid arthritis is linked to that. Neurological issues are linked to that. Also, when you look at viruses, bacteria, fungus, and parasites, there's nothing wrong with it. But the negative effect that happens when the body gets off balance and there's too much of it are infections, diseases, and autoimmune disorders. So again, the goal of this super skin defense with Envirem is to protect this outside of this body. And that's why the product was made. We're going to go on to the next slide, Jayla, for the Enviremware, because there's a major difference between the skin defense and the Enviremware. So Enviremware is a spray that is applied directly to clothes. We have an entire clothing line coming out that is like Envirem, that's an Enviremware clothing. And what that means is, again, it's to protect the clothing from the environment. If something horrible was to happen, like a nuclear war, you would want protective clothing. But where do you get it, right? And there's all kinds of clothing people wear when they go into a room where there's radiation. But what we're not thinking about is, what do we do every day? We're being exposed to this 5G, this radiation every day. You get in the car, whether it's an electric car or a gas car, you're driving, you're out in the environment, you're exposed. You're in an environment like this. They just painted the back of my shelf in the new office. I'm exposed to all kinds of toxins. So how do we protect not just our skin, but our clothing? This is an innovative spray that's aimed at keeping the clothes away from these environmental pollutions. We do have a specific clothing wear that we will show during Fashion Week, and we will also have available at Root that has it embedded into the clothes. And there's a 4-day process that we go through to produce it. We do a spray on the clothes and embed it into the fabric. We freeze it. And right now, I say I'm predominantly the one doing this, but we have a clean room where we will start doing all this in March. We freeze it, we heat it, we freeze it again, we heat it. We use everything from dryers to ovens to heat. We boil it. There's a huge process this goes through. Then the coating is applied so that when people wear this clothing, they are more protected from the pollution in the environment. But the Envirem spray that Jayla showed earlier under Merci, Dupre, Enviremware, go back to that slide real quick, Jayla.
It's going to be sexy and safe.
Well, there's 2 components, and that's what I really want people to understand. We've got actually 3 components, actually more than 3. We've got a couture clothing line
For me.
That people can wear. That's from Merci Dupre, but it will also be sold at Root. We will have clothing that we already have produced that's couture.
Made in France.
And then we will have other clothes that we produce only after you order it because they're so expensive. Then we will have a basic line like black leggings and black shirts that have the coating in it, the Enviremware built in. All of the clothes, like I'll give you an example. I think Stephanie is the one that's going to be modeling a wedding dress during Fashion Week. That wedding dress has the Enviremware put into the wedding dress. So even though it looks like just a normal wedding dress, it actually has this protection built in. So you've got this clothing line.
So you can wear a wedding dress almost every day.
If you want to. And then you've got the spray. Does that make sense, Clayton? Yep. So tell me the differences of what I've just explained, because I want to make sure everyone understands.
So Enviremware is the clothing itself, or what's embedded into the clothing. Then you've got the
Enviremware spray.
The spray, which you spray onto your clothes. You can spray onto the Enviremware clothes or onto
your own clothes. So what's the difference?
When you go out.
Do you know the difference?
Well, of course I do, but whether I can explain it, because the Enviremware is actually embedded into the fabric. It is part of the fabric.
The stuff
then you
can
treat the fabric to make it even more protected, but you can also spray your other clothes. Like for me, I would spray my socks and my breeches.
Right. So he's right.
Anything else, but then you also have the ability to use the Pure skin protectant side.
Skin defense.
Which is something that you won't need suntan lotion for, any of that crap anymore, because you can go out in the sun and be protective and actually soak in the rays that you're supposed to and protect yourself from the bad stuff.
So I saw
Did I
Burgett's
pass for today?
kind of, let me,
I got about 75%. I'm a C student.
well, the Enviremware is the spray, but we also do have a clothing line that has Merci Dupre clothing airs that we launch. The spray can be used with any clothing. So for example, this that I have on, I have basically a sweatsuit on.
And this is the secret. The secret to the house of Ramis is wear basics and then cool things to go along with it. She likes to wear like one or two things.
So I can't do this today.
Anyway, keep going. We're almost done.
I'm so tired. I can't. I'm trying my best. You can spray it onto your clothes. We're gonna have to do another. We're gonna have to do a slide deck on each one because I think it's way too much for people to understand. But Burgett is right. Your clothes, if you buy them, the Root clothing wear that has the Enviremware built in, you have to wash it, right? Some of it you have to dry clean, and after a couple of washes, and we're saying 3 to 4, you'll need to spray the spray on again so that it binds to the clothing. However, your own clothing that you wear, like this, like what Clay and I are wearing, the spray will still adhere to it, but every time you wash it, you're going to have to spray that spray. So there's different things, and what we will come out with so that you guys understand is the directions of use, so you guys understand how to use it. And we'll do a whole deck on that. We don't have that yet because we're just getting the skin defense and the Enviremware spray. We're having it mailed to us in New York so that we have it for New York. So for example, Ajaya and Stephanie are going to be modeling, and we have other Root ambassadors like Joni and Brenda and Alex and different people that were going to be there. We also have pretty high name professionals like Evander Holyfield and influencers that will be there as well. So all of this is getting done, the clothing, and you guys will be able to see the pictures of all the couture clothing. So the clothing, the animal products, the skin defense, and the Enviremware are all being shipped right now to New York. So we have it for Fashion Week. But for the Root community, Ted Baker is going to let you guys know how we are launching this so that all of you guys know we're planning on launching different things, different months. So we basically will have a launch in March of some of this, a launch in April on some of this, a launch in May, a launch in June. You guys are getting ready to have launches of different things, everything from clothing to skin defense, to animal products, to doctor products, to makeup. We're launching a whole format of this, but right now I wanted to make sure I brought some of this up. So if you guys see stuff on social media, like if you'll follow Dr. Christina Rahm in Instagram or Root or Clayton on Instagram, you're going to see a bunch of stuff we're going to release. And I didn't want the Root community to say, wait a minute, they never told us about any of this, because before the press knows, before the media knows, I wanted the Root community to know. So today's call.
You misspoke on one thing. No one follows me on social media or Instagram. I have 6 followers. You have millions.
Okay.
We know where to go.
Jayla, let's go to Coato. And no, that's not true, but let's go to Coato. Just fly.
Is it Coato time?
Coato time. I didn't say it right.
What would we do for pets that we wouldn't do for people?
Well, we know we do everything for Tilly. So this is Coato, and this is basically for your furry friends' coats, whether it's a horse or whether it's a dog or whether it's a cat or whether it's a ferret or lizard or whatever. This is a spray for their coat, which is like the skin defense, but it's made in particularly to adhere to the animal's hair and to their outer coating.
So if you were a reptilian, you
could use it
instead of an
you can't, they don't wear clothes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So this is going on their coat so that they're protected. Because you guys, I want to tell you this, something that's really not talked about a lot is that animals are getting worse and worse. They have more cancer. They have more autoimmune disorders. They have more issues with their eyes because of the environments. They're outside all the time. They're exposed to pesticides. So I think this particular product that we're going to launch for animals will be huge so that we can help protect animals, whether they're inside or outside. So I'm super excited about that. And I'm also excited about the Bill and Coo collaboration with Root. So on the next slide, we're going to talk about that. Bill and Coo is a product company that has to do with animals and pets and humans. So we always say Clayton created the tagline. It's for
People
what
and
is it?
or pets and their people.
Pets and their people, or animals and their people. And so we have fabric that we actually will launch right after the fashion event. And we have these little, what are they?
Well, they're scarves.
We have little scarves that have the Root logo on it. So that you guys have stuff for your cats and for your dogs. And then we will also bring in, of course, the Enviremware clothing, Merci Dupre clothing line for the animals. So the animals will have not only the stuff for their skin, not only the supplements for the inside of their bodies, but they'll also have their own clothing line that protects them against the environment.
Philly is so excited to get hers.
All right.
We go over ingredients.
Do we have time today to
I
go
don't think
through?
we do.
We don't, and I'm so sorry. So we have a whole deck on the ingredients, and Jayla, I want to apologize. I didn't see that you had all this back here.
Bill and Coo.
That we want to go through with you all,
Right.
but because of travel, we're probably not going to be able
Who's
to go through.
traveling? Are you guys doing something? What's going on? What's up in your life? How's the Root community?
Well, I'm trying to get to the slide deck, so can we tell them what's up and why? I'm kind of a nervous.
Guys, we are all at our, you ever heard of a race car in the red? Race car in the red, baby. Race car in the red. We're so excited going to New York
Oh yeah,
today.
we're so excited.
Today, everybody's excited to go to New York.
What are we doing in New York? Let's tell everyone, Ted, because you have
Everybody knows. Everybody knows
we didn't know the meetings we're doing
the meetings.
and the events.
We have, okay, so we have
Everybody's welcome.
Yeah.
gosh, guys, there's like, okay, you want to hear a funny story?
By the
Okay.
way, we have Root silk robes that you guys are gonna love.
Wait,
The
Root
fire-
family time. Root family time. This is like we're all on the couch and we're having like therapy talk.
Yep.
In December, when Dr. Rahm came to me and said, we're gonna do something at Fashion Week,
I said one piece of clothing.
she said one piece of clothing. I said to her, that's a lot to do in the next 75 days to launch that. And then that one piece of clothing that was a lot to do turned into 11 pieces
With outerwear.
with outerwear. And the great thing about that is that through that mechanism, I think she's produced probably 30 pieces of soft goods that she's now me and Clayton and she's threatening me. By the way, I want everybody to know that I'm getting threatened at work. My workplace is not a safe work environment right now. I'm being threatened that we have to launch all this. It's going to be amazing.
He's not been threatened, but what's happening is we have so many things. Can you go back, Clay? We have so many things that we have to get
Launch.
done.
And get done.
So we have the pre-fashion
Oh yeah,
show
yeah, oh yeah. Go to the fashion.
Yeah.
Show. Pre-launch on the 9th.
on the
The
9th.
9th. Fashion show the day of the 10th. Lunch, VIP lunch.
Television interview from Orlando via Zoom.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Lunch. Oh, you have that. How are you gonna do?
I don't know. We're gonna
Okay,
figure it
great,
out.
good talk.
Yeah.
Lunch after that. Then we have a cocktail hour that night. The next day we have all podcasts. Dr. Rahm is doing 9 hours of podcasting back to back to back to back to back.
You gonna do that again?
While Clay and I are at the bar. We're gonna be doing that. It's gonna be great.
We'll be meeting with a couple people.
Yeah, we'll be meeting some people. And then
And then I'm gonna
that night we have
call.
dinner.
I'm gonna call Brad Wozny so we can do a follow-up
So we
interview.
have a Root event.
I got you, Rada.
We have a rooftop event for Root. So we have a lunch, a dinner, another cocktail, and the actual show, and rehearsals, and meeting all kinds of famous people that will be involved with what we're doing. So we're extremely excited. We actually already have some major brands that will carry our clothing. And again,
That's crazy.
it will be handled the same way. They will be signed up as a Root ambassador, and they will be handling our clothing. And we have a collab that's going to be announced with Magnolia Pearl. I will be flying in next week into Malibu, California to go to their launch and discuss their collab with us next week. So that's a huge deal. We've got designers that designed Prada and Chanel. We've got designers that are the most famous designers in LA that are collabing with us. This is a huge event for this Root community. And I will do the best to honestly support and what word do I use? Be an ambassador for you all. And I know Hajea and Stephanie will as too. They will be examples. Henrik's going to be there. Joni's going to be there. Brenda, like I said, we have quite a few of you guys. Eric, Ted,
And for
Patrick.
all of our friends and for all of our friends in Europe, we'll see you guys. I'm going to be putting out the itinerary for our trip to Europe in the next 5 days.
See, Melanie's got your book. I don't know if that's a photo or if she's actually live.
We
she's
were-
not moving.
We were going to discuss the launch of the cookbook today, but we don't have time. That's coming out in 2 weeks. It's the autoimmune disorder cookbook, which talks about what you should eat, what you should take. If you are, when you have certain diseases and autoimmune disorders. As
So
far
this isn't a cookbook to have you eat to get an autoimmune disorder. Right?
I have to like breathe today, Clay. It's a
Okay.
cookbook that people will read when they want to help their bodies be the best they can
Oh,
be.
okay, good. I just want to make sure we're on the same page.
As far as Malibu, we really should do something in California. I'm taking my daughter to the launch. If Clayton wants to come to the launch and do a meet and greet with me or Ted, then we could do one there as well. But I don't know my time because of the show.
Craziness. But
But it
if
would be great if you
if you're in
could.
town, if you guys want to come to New York, come hang out.
Well, I'm talking about Malibu too.
Mel, there's no way.
Yeah, there is. I could take Patrick or Ted and we could do one,
Okay.
unless you want to do it.
Well, who knows?
Okay. Hey guys, listen, any of you guys that have people in New York, or if you want to come to any of the events or you want to send someone, let us know.
And the 22nd, 23rd or 24th through the 29th, we're going to be in different parts of Europe. That's going to come out here shortly too, right?
So I was getting ready to, I'll say this at the very end and then we have to go. I'm
Yes.
gonna miss my flight. And I'm taking my daughter with me, so I'm very excited. Merritt's flying with me today. All 4 of my kids will be there for the launch, or our kids will be there for the launch of the fashion show.
And Tilly.
And Tilly and Einstein.
Mhm.
But I was going to tell you also, we will be going there. We will be coming home on the 13th. We have events every day, all day. My schedule starts at 5 a.m. I'm not back in my room till 1 or 2. I'm just letting you guys know. They've showed me my schedule.
Oh, thank you.
Then I'm looking at the calendar. We will get home on the 13th. We will be spending Valentine's Day at home with our kids,
Oh,
or going to Dexter, Missouri for a night, where my parents live. And then I will leave again on the 15th through the 17th for Malibu, and Clayton probably will go with me. My daughter's going to go as well. And then we get home the evening of the 17th or morning of the 18th of February. So any of you guys that want us to do something in Malibu, please let us know. Reach out to Ted or Clayton or Stephanie, and we will plan an event. Also, again, if you guys want to come to New York, let us know so we can invite you to some of the events. We will be on a fashion television, which is in 96 countries as well. So you guys could be a part of that and could really help grow your groups if you're there. Clayton will leave on the 19th for Turkey to go to Istanbul for some items we're working on with the coffee and the clothing. Ted and I will leave on the 21st, or 20th or 21st to go to Munich. Clayton will join us there on the 21st or 22nd. We will be meeting with doctors there. We will be meeting with different groups, and we will have a Root event again in Munich. Then we will go to Brussels, where we will be meeting with the owners, the coaches, and the cyclists for the women's cycling team that Root is working on sponsoring throughout the world. They have 150 events next year, and we're working on that sponsorship so that you guys can partake and be a part of a female cycling team that's one of the top teams in the world,
so
as well as a female basketball team. So that's our week. We won't wait. I didn't forget.
But wait, there's more.
So we will go to from Brussels to Hungary, where we're doing a television show, and we will go, or some
and
big event.
cycling stuff with
Cycling
Steven
stuff.
Roche.
And then we will go from Hungary. We possibly
Back.
are going to do an event in Hungary.
Oh,
And then we'll go from Hungary, I think, to Switzerland or Australia, and then
We
home.
are.
That's our schedule. Yes.
Austria, not Australia.
Oh, Austria. Yeah.
Yeah, they wouldn't let me in Australia right now.
So you guys stay tuned, because we will be sending you the cities we will be in and what events we will have. If you guys have requests for us to come to other countries, please pass that on to Ted Baker or Clayton. or me, so we can work on it. I do think we're coming to Frankfurt or Berlin as well, Birgit. I forgot about that. I need to find out
We're
what day
making the
we'll be
loop
there.
loop. We're working on that.
Yeah.
And Pat, we'll come up with a plan for Finland. We have to give a special shout out to Pat. So she had her first of the basketball team. One of the basketball players got to have his first game using a little zero in and some goodies, and he happened to drop 35 points, 13 rebounds, and 7 assists in his first game. And what's really interesting, if you do that every night, you'll end up playing at different levels and getting a lot more money. It's true. If you put up 35, 13, and 7 every night, this just in, you're good. They call that dominance.
Okay, and we have to go back,
Yes,
or
we
we
do.
won't get to New York.
So
And apologize that I'm a little disoriented today, or not as focused. I have a lot on my mind, and we haven't had a lot of sleep because we're trying to get all of this done. And so I'm excited, tremendously excited about what we're doing with everyone. And we have a lot more to do. We mapped out everything that we will be doing through July. So you guys will be seeing us in Mexico and Cyprus. Also, you will be seeing us in Nashville and back in Europe this summer, possibly Australia. So we have a lot to do through the summer.
you got it.
Yeah.
So we'll see you guys soon. And as the wise man once taught me, konnichiwa, my friends.